Troy thought she was just a talkative passenger who happened to overhear someone else's secret on the way to Rebel Radio. But in Vinewood, nothing happens by accident. And if official justice has no questions for India Wood, then my badge has collected far too many of its own. These expensive houses are always built from the same blueprint: high fences, clean pools, and dirty secrets inside. But a fence can't wash away sin. It only shows you who's scared enough to hide behind one.
You aren't supposed to be down here? What the hell do you want? Duck, everyone.
Security means she's already scared. Vinewood pays well for silence, but today, silence was getting in my way. I needed someone frightened enough to finally tell the truth. Let's go, India. Now you're going to tell me everything about Cayo Perico. I need Cleo Song back in our cage for a little while, Jenette. Find a way to pull her out of Bolingbroke Penitentiary for a few hours for another round of questioning, under whatever excuse works. I want to put her face to face with India Wood. India Wood is sitting in a cage. Cleo Song is waiting in Bolingbroke, and I still feel like the real interrogation won't begin here. I'm heading to the Cayo Perico warehouse, Jenette. Stay on comms and wait for Cleo.
See you later.
When you take off the sheriff's uniform, the city around you doesn't get any cleaner. It just finally stops pretending it's innocent. Lupe knows a completely different version of me. The one who doesn't write tickets, but collects debts in blood. That second reality pushed the law out of my head a long time ago. Cayo Perico has always been my second shadow. The office upstairs, the warehouse below, clean paperwork up front, and the dirty truth somewhere between the boxes. The city wanted me on one side of the law. I decided it was more useful to stand in the middle. The train cuts the neighborhood in half, like a line between what can be handled by the book and what needs a different kind of approach. My warehouse sits right on that line. Trains in this city always run on schedule, but my life went off the rails a long time ago, and now it's headed straight for the edge. Ronan was only supposed to deliver the bike and collect the payment, but he's the kind of man who brings back more than money from a job. He notices details even when all he wants is to get rid of another client. Rancho doesn't look like the kind of place where secrets surface, but neighborhoods like that can guard someone else's dirt better than any safe. Rancho was never a cozy neighborhood. Every corner here breathes cheap powder and buried violence. Ronan rolled in with the wolfsbane without even realizing this wasn't just another unhappy buyer waiting for him. What was hiding here was another piece of the puzzle. And once again, it led back to Vinewood.
Listen, sweetheart, I brought exactly what was on the order, and your little tantrum is not my problem.
What he noticed during that delivery didn't fit any of the usual patterns. Ronan isn't a detective, and he never will be. But the street speaks to him in a language he understands without translation. Ronan walks into every place like it's either already his bar or about to become one. He simply doesn't know how to arrive quietly. His own personal chaos always gets there a few steps ahead of him. Ronan crossed that threshold carrying a piece of insight that was about to burn away whatever peace I had left.
Lupe, your warehouse smells better than half the bars I've woken up in. And I've woken up in a lot of them.
If you came here to review my warehouse, Ronan, make it quick. I've got India Wood sitting in a cage, and Cleo Song is about to be brought in from Bolingbroke.
Hey, your assistant's a bit of an asshole, you know? Sorry if it's out of line, but everyone's kind of saying it, so...
I delivered a bike to some nervous beauty here in Rancho, not far from here. That doll had a gold lighter on her, with some strange engraving. Looked a hell of a lot like those chevrons you were rambling about after Cayo Perico. And she paid with bills from the same batches they'd been laundering through Cypress Flats.
Now that's interesting. The trail is getting hot, and those bastards finally made a mistake. Take my guy, go to Cypress Flats, and burn the whole place to the ground so their boss has to crawl into the light. Keep the money as your tip. I didn't give Ronan a partner. I gave him a route and a man who knew how to keep quiet for the right price. Ronan doesn't ask who's behind the wheel when the job smells like explosives and easy money. Explosives hidden in the trunk of an old beater. That's Los Santos poetry. Nobody sees anything, nobody hears anything, and then everything goes up in flames while everyone pretends it was an accident. Ronan picked up his ticket to the show and didn't even bother closing the door behind him. Cypress Flats never sleeps. Behind the roar of the industrial machines, millions in dirty money stay hidden. The cartel's underground laundries run their business with confidence because they think they're untouchable. But they forgot that chaos doesn't answer to their schedules or invoices. Ronan doesn't plan. He steps into chaos and becomes part of it before anyone has time to understand what's happening. Vinewood spent years buying silence with this money, and that silence just caught fire.
Is there a problem here?
The bills inside those washing machines aren't just money. They're nodes in a network, each one tied to someone's name, address, or fear. Ronan was collecting them as a payday, but to me, every bill was a page in a case that officially doesn't exist. Bombs are the shortest language in the criminal world. They don't explain, persuade, or leave room for polite misunderstandings. Leaving nothing behind but ash is the best way to send my personal regards to their leadership. One of you claims Laura died in the water after the plane crash. The other says she saw her alive on the island a year before the plane went down. You're not leaving this cage until your stories meet at one specific name from Vinewood.